right. Well, welcome to our second interview for this year's Sidewalk Film Festival. My name is Gareth Jones. I'm here with Craig Sabravolo. We have a weekly show called Sleep in Cinema. We're live on Saturday mornings from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., but you're probably watching this on YouTube, hopefully. Hopefully prepping for our incredible premiere film next week. And we're very fortunate to have the director of this documentary film called Stolen Kingdom. So thank you so much, Joshua Bailey. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Excellent.
Absolutely. Well, this is the opening night film, so this is super exciting. Here, I think you'll really enjoy the crowds here. We're excited that you're going to be here in person for Q&A. Sidewalk Film Festival fans are super appreciative of just having that kind of interaction, so I think they're going to love your film. We're going to do our best not to have any spoilers because there's lots of twists and turns in this story, but absolutely amazing. So first, if you don't mind, tell us, I believe, is this your first feature-length film?
Yeah, this is kind of my
Wow.
first film project that's been completed, period. Just dove straight into a feature.
Dang, you didn't waste any time. It's an amazing first effort. I got to tell you, that's
Thank
very
you so
impressive.
much.
But so if you don't mind, just kind of tell us how you got involved with this story about the whole behind the scenes world that is revealed in this documentary of what's happening at all of our or a lot of people's favorite place in the world, Disneyland.
Yeah, yep. Well, that's how I moved. I grew up in Tampa, Florida, and I moved not too far to Orlando when I turned 18. There was like a film school here that I could like actually get into. I did pretty bad in school as like an artist. So I was like community college with a film program, cool. Worked at the parks for a bit, and I grew up like a hardcore kind of punker kid, but I also really liked Disney. So it wasn't just a job. I actually wanted to work there when I was 18, naively, and I lasted 4 months and quit.
Oh,
But I stayed like in this ecosystem. Like it's hard to escape it around here in Orlando, where I still am. And there was this crossover of people that I felt were like a little similar, that they had tattoos and went to, hardcore shows. They'd also go to Disney World. And it just happened that a lot of those people would also, I don't know, break the law at Disney World. A few of them. And I grew up watching their videos. So it was like familiar territory for me because I knew a lot of these guys. Things started to, go sour, and a few of them were banned for life. And then we started to reach out to some of them when I was like wanting to make a documentary. I was like, I need to know more about this. There was like this new generation that came up, and I had kind of thought that some of them were like the same age as me. So it's like, okay, common ground. We're like kids in our 20s that like Disney, like also don't like Disney. And then chaos happened. This was before, like the boiling point of the film, of the big, what we're all pointing to, this animatronic heist that happened in 2018.
Right.
So this was all before that I started reaching out and kind of immersing myself in this world even more than I was already naturally in it. And then when that happened, that kind of seminal moment, that solidified it. We just had to make this film.
Yeah, they've got some lovely flyers around town saying, "Where's Buzzy?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing some good promotion. Yeah, you got one right behind you. Actually, that's awesome.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it is. I see it.
Well, yeah, I think you have a lovely balance in this film of someone who obviously so many people grew up loving Disney, but also you've had kind of the curtain removed and you've seen the behind the scenes and by working there and then getting involved with this crowd. How long have you been working on this specific film? And you said the big reveal came at the end, but I know you started, like you said, you loved it for a long time and then you worked there. But how many years did it take you to actually make this film?
4 years of production. And then we had the initial idea and started like doing the research portion, I guess, in 2018. So we're going to go all the way back about 7 or 8 years, I guess 7 years. I moved away to Texas for a little bit, actually. So it kind of like the idea was simmering for a while, but we started production in 2021, right after it was 2 weeks after I got my COVID vaccine. And I was like, all right, let's travel. So we just set up the interviews.
Here we go. Let's do
It's
it.
been a long road.
Yeah.
It was years of post-production. We shot it mostly in 2021, and then the rest of it's been post-production. So it's been
Gotcha.
kind of a long road. Yeah, but
That's amazing. No, you can kind of tell with some of your subjects looking different, with haircuts and weight gain and things of
yeah.
that nature. So, but it was great. I'm sorry. Yes, Craig, I'll let you ask the next question.
Oh, but here's the thing. Here's a confession. I've never been to Disney World or Disneyland ever.
Wow.
I'm not a young man. So my kids have. Now I lived in LA and they went to Disneyland. But Disney World is a whole different vibe. You know,
Yeah.
I think of Florida Project. I think of like what was the one where they snuck the camera in and like shot the entire film like at Disneyland. It's kind of a horror movie.
Escape
World
from
of
World
Tomorrow.
Escape
Escape
from
from
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I'm getting at is this new or this simmering revealing pulling the veil off of the magic of Disneyland. I've never been one fascinated by it. I mean, obviously I love Disney films and as a kid, but I love that you've structured this to kind of set the table, so to speak, with the people that are really hardcore into this and how it kind of punctures that balloon. Um, but the thing that for me is that I've seen all of those exhibits and the rides just on television. I've never experienced it in person. So to get the perspective of seeing that stuff behind the scenes and really digging into it, that was fascinating to me because it's not something that I've ever experienced in person, but it is something that I can totally see how that might, and I'm assuming you've been.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I was.
How does it play when you've been there, and how these things get kind of literally stripped away.
It's amazing because we both have daughters. We met because our daughters went to school together. I have twin 16-year-olds, and my brother worked for Disney for a while, so he would send us some free passes. And
Oh, that's nice.
we were in Georgia, so we went down a few times while we were there. And I mean, there is something magical about that first experience for a child.
Yeah.
Going there and having that experience. But again, knowing I'm a professor, and I have a lot of former students who've gone down and done the Disney program after graduation, and then I'll meet them a few years later and they have a few stories to tell. So there is that again, that I've had that great experience of being there with my children. But the one thing that's fascinating to me about all of this is that there's people out there, and you may be one of them, but these people who are on these rides and think, what if I got off this ride? What if I went behind the scenes?
So I mean, clearly, I mean,
and that they could do it, and then they recorded themselves doing it. I mean, this is incredible that you got all this footage, that you got the trust of these people. I know some of nature, but yeah, maybe you could walk us through, getting the trust of these people to be interviewed.
Yeah, it was a difficult process because everyone in the film has committed a crime to some degree. Some are extreme and like literally stealing a bunch of things from the parks, and some are pretty minor, like they walked into an area that Disney designated off limits. It's a crime to Disney, but yeah, we spent a good amount of time, I think, in that simmering period of having the idea in 2018. A lot of the criminal cases were like ongoing. We couldn't get the court records, but we had communicated with some of these people. And because I had been in this community sort of and was familiar with these people since I was much younger, I think they understood I wasn't just a random person like coming into their territory and trying to like capitalize on this interesting story. That I really like genuinely was a part of this community. I was a person that consumed this content, considered creating this type of content, decided not to, which I think was a great idea to not do what some of these guys
in
did.
hindsight.
Yeah, and I would have ended up like
Right.
some of them banned for life, which it's not the worst thing in the world, but
Exactly.
legal troubles and things. So I think they respected that, and you just meet everyone on a human level and just understand that you're not trying to sensationalize their lives and their stories and things, and just you want to do it justice and tell it in the right way, because it can really be
Yeah.
blown up to be like, this is so crazy, which we tried. I mean, it's fun. We try to make it fun and a little crazy, but on a personal level, we tried to respect everybody and honor them. And we have that human side, I think, with Dave and Ed. One of my favorite stories. It's like a story of friendship to show
Oh
that.
God, that was a
There's a lot of
beautiful.
different
Heartbreaking.
sides.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting is that when you're watching during the festival, you watch so many films, and whether it's purposeful or not, there becomes this thread. I just watched before back to back the Butthole Surfers documentary that's going to be playing
Hell
at
yeah.
Sidewalk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be if you've not seen this, find it because it's amazing.
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to really bad. Yeah, it's just like
Well, it's playing at the
punk
festival.
rock
So
fan.
if you're gonna be around this weekend, I highly
Yeah.
recommend it as a companion piece to yours, because those guys were punk as fuck, right? I mean, they just really did, do whatever they wanted to do. Sorry, Gareth.
No, that's a great comparison. No, I you're absolutely right. That ethos or that approach of just I'm not going to follow the rules. I'm going to find my own path and not be afraid of it.
And
it was this
like enclave of folks that had this same outlook on the world, and for you guys it seems to be we're just we may have grown up around this, but we're going to really dig into it and kind of lift under that rock and see what's going on. So I again, you don't get that often, and for this to be your first feature-length film, I'm curious as to how you found it in the edit, since this is like your first time. Or did you have a partner in the editing? How did you find this story after you've shot this? I guess is my long-winded question.
Yeah, that was a very difficult part. Like a lot of documentaries, they are made in the edit. So I had written an outline and started to write like a script. Basically, I'd written a really just rough outline of where I thought the story could lead, and then I started to try and turn that into like a really rough script
Okay.
outline. And then when we shot the interviews, we brought on a writer, a friend of mine, Matthew Serrano, who had done a piece on just Hoot and Chief for YouTube. So I thought it was a perfect fit, and he had considered tackling the Buzzy story. So we took all the interviews and we turned that into an actual script, like a paper edit, basically. And then we had multiple editors. Like Matthew helped us, the writer, do a rough cut and kind of piece it together for another person to come on, and then he edited it. And then we had another person do a pass, had like a little tonal shift, and then we had like a finishing person. It was a lot, but there was those tiny tone shifts that you can do of like punching up the funny a little bit at points. Like there's a really funny bit of Patrick, I think like the two craziest guys in it, Matt Sonswat, Patrick Spikes. And we just found this little moment between them that was in this really long video. He would put videos like behind a paywall, Matt Sonswat, and it was just unedited. It was like an hour long of me climbing Big Thunder Mountain. And one of the editors found just this Matt, like not knowing anything about Disney and like misnaming Thunder Mountain and all this stuff. But it's such a good character moment because Patrick's so obsessed and Matt knows nothing, and he's just, disrespecting Disney by stepping all over it. Those kinds of things, you can't plan for that when you're doing the paper edit. That comes out of just going through all of this footage and just really figuring out how you want it to come across, and the different sections. That was a big thing of balancing each character and making them feel different from each other, because they really were. Like, you could make Dave and Ed seem more like Patrick or Matt if you wanted to. They could get more reckless, but we kind of wanted to keep them innocent. And I think initially we did have this idea to like show a full scope, a wider scope, but we narrowed it down to just what we needed, the horizon stuff. And they did more than just jump out on horizons.
Yeah.
But in the edit, we finally were like, let's whittle this down.
That was cool. That was my favorite sequence. Yeah.
That's some of my favorite stuff.
Well, I'll ask one more question and then I'll let you. It looked insane. Now that you've done it, do you want to do it again? Did this turn you off, or did it make you want to keep making them? Documentaries.
Oh yeah, keep making them. I mean, I'm so passionate about documentaries.
Okay.
I have two more that we're working on right now. We've shot a little bit of one of them, and then we're going to shoot, I think, 2 weeks after Sidewalk. we'll be flying out to shoot another one. So there's 2 happening all at once.
Okay.
And I'd like to do narrative stuff as well, but I'll always love documentaries so
Oh,
much.
man.
It was
Well, I love it. I love. If this is it?
it was painful,
Go ahead.
this process, but I think the next ones will
Oh,
be better. The first one's hard. It's like you wait your whole. It's
yeah,
like
of
in
course.
music. I'm a musician as well, so I hear people say you have your whole life to create your first album, and then you only have a year to create your second one.
hmm
So I feel that way about filmmaking.
That's a great way of putting it. I like that. All right. Well, I'm glad you did it, and I hope to tell you that in person next week.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just have one last question, and I'm sure a lot of people ask you this, but is this already on Disney's radar that this movie's coming out? I know when Escape from Tomorrow came out, I was working at Sundance, and everyone was like, "This will never see the light of day. Disney's gonna, sue it to the ground." And it didn't happen. It had a release, but I'm just curious, with your experience, what your path is.
Yeah, that's fascinating that you worked at Sundance then. Yeah, that was the thing. It was they thought helicopters were going to fly in and stop the screening of Escape from Tomorrow. Um, I'm sure they know about it. I'm sure that they've known about it for a while. Definitely now that it's out. We had this, like, we dropped the trailer and then we premiered at Big Sky in February, like a week or 2 later, and we're like, well, it's out there now. But we had a suspicion the whole time that they've known that we've been interviewing people. I don't know. It's the Streisand effect. If they say something about it, then everyone will go, "Oh, what is this about?" Because they've done a pretty good job at sweeping the
Yeah,
Buzzy
right.
situation under the rug. So I don't think they'll do anything. If we push their buttons too hard with tiny little legal things, like maybe we stop using the words Disney World and marketing and stuff going forward, and we just say a theme park in Orlando, but besides that, I think we'll be fine. Plenty. I mean, there's a lot of YouTube videos about it, and much
Excellent.
worse things that happen at Disney. It's all out there.
Oh yeah. Well, we're so glad that this is out there and that people are going to be able to see it, and that it's going to be the opening night film here at Sidewalk. People are just going to love it. We're excited to have you here in person. So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.